Hey everybody, welcome back to Show Choir Live Season 2. I can't believe it's Season 2. I can't believe it's November. I can't believe it's not butter. I'm Alex Hall. I'm one of your hosts, and I'm a choreographer for several show choirs. I live in Chicago. I'm currently at my parents' house in good old Auburn, Indiana. I've been choreographing for Bishop Dwenger High School in Fort Wayne this weekend. So kind of hanging out here. And let me introduce my other co-host, Adam Peters, who is from Iowa City, Iowa. Hi, Adam. How you doing tonight? Uh, I'm not getting any audio from Adam. There we go. Wait.
Great. I was just saying, not only did you just start off of our first show of season 2 with a butter joke, you also just let us know that you're at your parents' house, meaning you're like the coolest person in the world.
Well, yeah, if you know my parents, yeah, absolutely.
How's it going?
Good. Why don't you tell everybody about what you do?
I'm Adam Peters. I am a co-director of Muscatine River City Rhythm, the varsity show choir down in Muscatine, Iowa. I go around, I clinic show choirs. I started judging last year. I love show choir. I live in Iowa City. I manage, bartend, serve at a Irish pub in Iowa City part-time, and I run a lot. And that's all I've been doing.
Cool. Running is good. How
Yeah.
far did you run today?
Actually, I'm running after the show in the beautiful Iowan, chilly 8-degree weather.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch. It's actually been snowing all day here, pretty much on and off. I guess the vortex is coming.
Yikes.
Also on our show tonight we have Ellie Jordan, who's from Naperville, Illinois. She's a choreographer. Hey Ellie, how are you?
Hey,
Hey.
great.
And did you just get back from Massachusetts today?
I did. I got back this morning.
Cool. And what did you do all summer? Oh, you had some cool stuff go on this summer, yeah.
I did. I did my first SCAs this summer, both Milliken and Ohio, as a clinician.
That's awesome. We got
What
your
exciting
first,
summer.
SCA ever?
Well, no, my first as a clinician. It was my 22nd SCA, actually.
right. So, how old are you, Elliot? I'm just kidding.
I am 22 years old.
And also we have Sherman Charles, who is just straight south of me in Bloomington, Indiana. And Sherman is with Carmen Show Choir Scoring. And he's going to talk to us about some cool new things. I'll just say things, so we'll get the details.
Yes, things indeed.
How you doing, man?
Good, good. I haven't seen you in such a long time.
I know. And introduce Romario.
This is Romario. He also
Hi,
helps
everybody.
out with Carmen Show Choir Scoring, and he is from Brazil. He's my boyfriend.
Yes.
So,
Cool.
yeah.
And we also have Randy Lanoue standing by in Twinsburg, Ohio. How are you, buddy?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm great. I love your background.
It's our library at home. It really is. I'm no place special. I'm really just at home. It's Sunday night at home with the Labrador.
We literally are interviewing Oprah. Like, you have Oprah.
I don't know about that. You're not all getting a card from me.
Darn it.
Oh, man.
So Randy's our main interview, and we'll get to all these guests as we go along. We're going to start off our night reviewing. We've had 3 competitions, maybe 4, already this fall. So we're going to run down some of those results. Go for it, Mr. Adam.
Yeah, we started in Bluffton in September. Bluffton, Indiana, the Bluffton Street Fair. 3rd place, Southside High School. 2nd place, DeKalb. And 1st place, Northrop. And then we moved to October. Peru State College holds a festival in Peru, Nebraska. The mixed division Tier 1 winner was Burke. The Tier 2 mixed division winner was Norris with Best Choreography. Tier 3 went to Wahoo, which is pretty awesome that their high school is Wahoo High School. I would like to find out what their person is, if it's like a lightning bolt or something, I don't know. Tier 4 goes to Wilbur Clatonia, which sounds like a planet, and Tier 5 goes to Deschler. Then we move to Ada, Ohio, which was last week. Great competition, great lineup there. 6th place went to Van Buren. 5th place went to Riverside. 4th place went to Grove City. 3rd place went to ETC. 2nd place went to Findlay with Best Band. And 1st place went to Twinsburg with Best Vocals and Best Choreography. So it's kind of fun that we've got Randy here. He's going to talk a little bit about that. Then yesterday at Southmont, 6th place went to Austin. 5th place went to South Dearborn. 4th place went to Chesterton. 3rd place went to Northrop. 2nd place went to Manteno. And 1st place went to DeKalb with Best Vocals and Best Choreography. And next week there is a show choir festival in Seneca, Missouri. But other than that, pretty much the fall season is kind of done. I think most groups who have fall shows are going to start transitioning into their competition season show learnage. Yeah.
Yes. We're having some issues with our video embed on the website, and Patrick, who's our social media guy, is texting me in all caps, "Fix website," and doing the same thing we've always done, just kind of posting the embed link right into the text field, and it's coming up as HTML code on the website. So I'm going to try to see if I can't figure that out.
Shout out to Patrick. Patrick is way behind the scenes of the show. We couldn't do it without him. He is awesome. Patrick's originally from Marysville, and we love him, and we are indebted to him.
So those of you that have the show up, if you didn't click on the link from the website, how did you? Okay, maybe I don't need to embed.
There's people tweeting saying they're watching, so
yeah,
I don't know.
So I don't get how they're watching if the website isn't working. Is the website working, you guys? Is it working? My mom says no. Where are you? I thought you guys went upstairs.
They're secretly probably around the corner.
Okay, let's see if this works.
I actually changed up my background for your mother because your mother had commented to me at Jennifer Ungen's house in California that she hated my red couch. I definitely took that to heart, and I've changed that for her and her only.
Okay, I think we got it. I got it figured out. Little rusty, guys. It's been 6-7 months. Okay, Steph Hyatt says I had to go to your YouTube channel, but I think we got it figured out now. Patrick, if you could let me know if that's real. And he's typing. I think we're good to go. I mean, this happened to us first episode last year.
And it's going to be a great season.
It is, yes. Just kicking it off in the exact same way. So for those of you who are just joining us, I'm Alex Hall, and my co-host is Adam Peters. We've got Sherman Charles. We've got Ellie Jordan. We've got Mr. Omario with Sherman. We've got Mr. Randy Lanoue from Twinsburg, and we've got a lot to talk about. We just kind of ran over all the results from the few fall competitions. But let's talk to Ellie a little bit about the Bayside workshop.
Yes.
Yeah, so Ellie just came back from, was it in the Boston metro area?
It's kind of like the suburbs would be to the suburbs of Chicago, is what I kind of got the feeling for. So it was actually in Easton at Oliver Ames High School.
Okay, and what did they do at the festival?
So basically, it's about 400 plus kids and from maybe 12 high school groups, show choirs. They come for 2 days and they learn they're split into two groups and they learn a choreographed number and then they all learn a ballad. So I taught the choreography to two different songs to 200 different groups of kids. And then on Saturday night, they performed that stuff, and then they also did their own shows. Most of them didn't do all of them, but then Judy and I, who I did it with, critiqued their shows from their hometowns, and then they
Okay.
performed our stuff at the end.
And is that their like winter competition show that they perform?
I think most of them did like a fall show, and then now they're going to go into something else.
Okay, cool. And Judy, as in Miss Judy
Judy
Hanson
Hanson.
of
Yes.
the Chicago Children's Choir variety.
Yes.
Cool. So let's talk a little bit about SEA. It was your first year at as a clinician at Show Choir Camp.
Yes.
And tell us about that experience.
I mean, I feel like I kind of lucked out because it went very smoothly, and I just had a fabulous time. It was pretty cool for it to be the 35th anniversary year, being my first year. I mean, it doesn't really get any better than performing on stage with your parents. So that's definitely something that I will never forget. But overall, it was just an awesome time. Couldn't be happier about it.
Yeah, everyone should really go on YouTube and check out all the shows, but specifically watch Ellie's show. She did a knockout job in her first year. I mean,
Yeah.
telling people that I've seen so many first-year clinicians come in, and they all do a good job, but you just came in and you blew everyone away. It was
Oh my gosh, thank you.
yeah.
What competitions will you be at this year, Ellie? Are you judging a bit?
I'm doing mostly critiquing and a best performance judge. I'll be at Adams competition at Muscatine
Yes.
and Chesterton High School, Eau Claire Memorial at their competition, and then possibly down at Petals competition. That's still in the works, so we'll see.
And what schools are you all involved with? It sounds like, I mean, I keep up with you on Twitter and we text, and you're always on the go, it seems. How many schools do you have? And
I've been very fortunate. Things have just kind of come my way. Let's see. Do you want a list? I wrote down a list of them, so I won't forget.
yeah, let's hear it.
Do it.
So, the Enterprise Girls Group, I did a song for them, and then the Dauphin Junior High, which is one of the filter schools into Enterprise, Eau Claire Memorial, Lafayette Jefferson, both the mixed and girls groups, the Prospect High School Girls Group, Hamilton High School in Wisconsin, La Crosse Central Girls Group, Longfellow Middle School, which is the feeder school into La Crosse Central High School, Jack Kelly Middle School, which is around here in the Chicago area. Okay, I haven't been to this school yet, so I'm probably going to butcher the name, but De Peru, somewhere in Wisconsin, I'm not sure. And then the Carmel Junior High, I'm going to do a song for them. So those are the competition groups that I've worked with, and then I've done fall stuff and Christmas stuff for Wheaton Warrenville and Mount Zion and Carmel, so I've kind of been to those places too.
That's insane for year number 1, Ellie Jordan. That's crazy.
It kind of is. It's been awesome though. I've loved every second of it.
What are some challenges what are some things about being on the road and kind of living this crazy choreographer life that you didn't really expect, or
it sounds really silly, but I before this year had never flown anywhere alone. So when I went down to Enterprise, it was my first time flying anywhere by myself. So that was my first challenge that I had to overcome, but it's been fine. But as far as working with groups, it's a lot of people that I've never worked with before. So it's always a challenge to not have any idea what level you're getting into and kind of what sort of dynamic each group has. So that's a challenge to kind of get a feel for each individual group you're going to go into for the very first time. And then when you go to those new groups, they're learning your new style for the first time. So it's just as much teaching how you want them to be doing it as much as just teaching them like choreography for their show. So it's kind of those types of things that I've had challenges with so far.
What is your process? I know every choreographer has a different kind of process. Like, do you like write stuff down? Do you feel stuff out as you go? Like, what?
I listen to the song 1,000,002 times, and then I just kind of start from the top, or kind of have a map in my head as what I want to happen in each section, and then I'll just start from the beginning and make my way through, and I tape myself usually, and if there's something specific in the music, like a ripple, I'll just write that down.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Maybe one more question.
Okay.
What advice would you give to somebody who was just starting out choreographing schools?
Just do it. I mean, if you're in a show choir, talk to your director. There's always little things that you could be doing. I was lucky enough to graduate from Wheaton Warrenville South with John Burles, and he gave me so many opportunities just out of high school to come back and do spring stuff and stuff for cabaret. So just do it. You just have to try, and if it works, it's great. If you fail the first few times, that's totally fine too. It'll happen. Just keep going.
What is the most overused song you've done so far this year?
Oh, wow. I've been lucky enough to not do too many overused songs, but strangely enough, I've now done Rhythm of the Night twice.
Wow.
That's kind of random.
Right, exactly.
Cool.
So, old school.
Well, Ellie, you can stick around. I know you've got a choreograph for Prospect Girls tonight. So if you need to hang up, you can hang up and we won't be mad at you. But if you want to stick around and ask questions or just participate, or if anybody has questions for Ellie or Sherman or like Randy, at the end we'll just take a bunch of questions from social media. So you can find us on Show Choir Live, like Facebook.com/ShowChoirLive, or Twitter @ShowChoirLive, and we'll get your questions, as many as we can. And cool. So yeah, you can hang up on us. We won't be mad at you.
I'll stay for a little bit. I'll try to hang to it.
Okay. Thanks, Ellie.
Yeah.
And next we're going to talk about kind of a cool new thing, Carmen Show Choir scoring system, which was made by Sherman and Romario. And let's just start it off with what inspired you to start this in the first place, Sherman?
Well, I mean, a couple years, when I was a freshman in college, a friend of mine, Kevin Douglas, came to me with a challenge, and he basically said, "Can you come up with a score sheet?" And I sat down at my desk in between studies and made out this score sheet, and I ended up with a page of almost 50 different categories that I felt like should fit into this show choir scoring sheet, judging, whatever, like adjudicated competition should go by this scoring sheet. And he said, "Okay, great, so let's clean this up a little bit and we'll try to go to our first competition." So hold on a second, my phone's on. So we went to Arts in West Virginia our first year, and Jeff Clark from Fairfield happened to be a judge there. And he liked the system so much that he asked us to be at Fairfield Crystal Classic that year, and it was something like 2 weeks. So we had to put everything together to get ready for the Fairfield Crystal Classic, and ever since then, Jeff Clark has been a huge help to us, getting everything situated and perfected essentially to what it is today. And that's where it all began, is somebody challenged me to make a score sheet.
Tell us about where it is today. Explain the current system.
So from that page of 50 categories, we've downsized immensely.
Really? 50? Come on, I can judge 50 categories for 18 groups. Come on.
I mean, that's what I thought was possible until I actually had judges do it, and they about shot me. But no, it took a lot of thinking and a lot of talking to not just judges, but also like directors and choreographers to see what they want from a score sheet and what they're actually looking for instead of what I thought should have been on there. Because I was just a little pipsqueak. I mean, I'm still a little pipsqueak. But
Oh, Sherman.
Just figuring out what people want on the score sheet, essentially, is what it is.
And really, you aren't a little pipsqueak because you have taken this to some pretty big competitions, and I'm just like super jealous that you get to travel to these amazing competitions. Which competitions this season will you be going to?
This year, I've got Marysville, which is in January, and then I have Burbank in LA, then Los Alamitos in California as well, and then Fairfield Crystal Classic, and we've added John Burroughs this year.
That's awesome.
So far we're at 5 competitions, and we're pretty much open every weekend that Marysville, Fairfield, all those guys aren't. We're open for any competition, really.
So, go ahead, Adam.
What kind of things does your score sheet incorporate that, maybe some regional, like Midwest sheets do not? Can you give us some examples?
Sure. So what makes us different than the rest of the score sheets that I've seen is, number one, we're all electronic. Everything is completely electronic. There's no paper whatsoever. And so that already sets us apart. And since we've been developing it for about 7 years now, we've got things such as categories that also sets us apart. So this year, I believe we're the first score sheet to include something like believability in our categories, which I feel like is super essential right now, especially into what show choir has become and what always has been, but kind of like lying under the surface.
Can you read some of those new categories? Can you read the descriptions?
Yeah, so the 3 new categories that I really want to emphasize in music, they're 2 different super categories, or captions, I guess is a better word, which are music and show. And in music, the 3 categories that I really want to emphasize are resonance, musicality, interpretation, and innovation. So in the past, we've usually talked about resonance like it's projection, but then it caused this sort of feeling that they need to yell really loud in order to get their sound out there. Well, that's not healthy, and that's not what we're asking for with projection. So I've decided to call it something different. And this is thanks to Brennan Jennings as well. It's called resonance, and it comes from this idea of physics, which I'm not going to get into because I'll lose some of you guys. But it's essentially the idea of getting your sound out into the auditorium and throughout every part of that auditorium, regardless of your volume. So no matter how loud you're singing or how soft you're singing, can you get that sound out into the auditorium? And that comes from proper singing technique or good singing technique. It's not from singing loud.
Cool. What else? What are the other ones?
We've got musicality interpretation, which is just nuance in music, really. And then innovation is something that I think we should incorporate, which is creativity, creative and effective and original music to their shows.
That's exciting to me. I like hearing that that's incorporated. Especially being from somewhere where we try and make, different story shows.
Right. Right.
But
So
that could apply to any show. I mean, that doesn't have to apply to a story show. Yeah, I mean, Wabanzi's show was certainly like creative and effective last year, without like a storyline or anything like that. If the music is good, it's good. If it's effective, it's effective.
Right, and look at what Twinsburg does too, and I'm sure you're going to talk about that later. They're extremely creative and very effective.
What are some of the movement? How many new movement categories do you have?
There's 3 new ones that I want to emphasize, really. And it's the communication and expression, which you, Alex, helped me out with a bunch. Because you told me last year that I really need to look at theater competitions and acting competitions and pull in what they do. And it came down to these ideas of emotion and characterization and intent, and whether they're actually like clear, true, and believable. And I think that's a really important thing to include now in show choir, because essentially it is a choir doing a show.
Read that. What's the actual description?
It is emotion, characterization, and intent are clear, true, and believable.
Cool. And what are some of the other ones? I like that
The next one is the objectives and atmosphere. which is totally out of my comfort zone, is being able to articulate what I try to get across. So that's where you came in. And it's performers create a cohesive environment that engages the audience. So it's not just there's a choir up on the stage performing, it's they include the audience. They draw the audience in. The audience are as well part of the show.
Cool. What's the other one?
Entertainment value, which is just what used to be called general effect, but that kind of made it sound bland to me, so I just gave it a new name, entertainment value, which is choreography, sets, props, costumings, accompaniment, and special effects combined to enhance the performance.
Is there anywhere on the internet, because you also have all the other standard categories that you would expect, it's not just these 6 new ones and that's it. Is there anywhere on the internet where people can go check that out, that sheet?
Yes, they can go on to our Facebook page right now, which is the Carmen Show Choir Scoring. You can just find that on Facebook, and we'll put all of the score sheets up there very soon, but we're encouraging people to get in contact with us so that we know there's actual interest out there, that kind of thing.
Please like our page.
Yeah. I totally cut you off, Romario. You had one line. I'm sorry. And just so people know, you bring your own iPads, right, to the competition?
Yes. That's another thing, is I'm bringing my own technology this time. So if you hire us as your tabulations people, we're going to bring our own technology, iPads, and everything.
And the only thing they would need to provide is the internet connection, or the Wi-Fi, right?
Yes, the internet.
Cool. So look up Carmen Show Choir Scoring on Facebook, and you'll find these guys. And if you're interested, like, is there an email address too that they could use?
Yes. CarmenShowChoir@gmail.com.
CarmenShowChoir@gmail.com. And
Yes.
I'm sure he can help you out if you're a director, like maybe interested in kind of doing a different scoring sheet. I'm sure they can help you out if you just email and maybe give you a quote. Yes?
Yes. If you sign up by December 1st or contact us by December 1st, you get the 10% first year discount.
You have to smile and do this when you say that.
Ding! You should do like a show choir live. If you watch the interview, they get like a 0.001% off.
Yeah.
No, if you know, it's free. It's totally free. If you watch
No,
Show
you're
Choir
giving-
Live, it's a free, free service.
He'll
Yeah.
fly himself out to your competition.
And Adam will choreograph your show choir.
Yes.
Right. Yes. Oh, it's a package deal.
Cool, man. Well, thanks, guys, for kind of introducing us into that world, and I hope people check it out. I think it's a really creative score sheet, and the system and the iPads, like, it's nice. It's very easy and fast tabulation, and I think it's a really great idea. Thanks for being on, guys. You can hang out, too. You can hang out and ask questions, or maybe we'll get some questions here on Twitter, but you can hang with us, or you can hang up on us, and we'll understand.
We'll hang out.
I'm sure you have some like grad school crazy language thing to
all that
study.
linguistics research stuff.
Yeah. Cool, man. Well, thanks for being on.
Thank you so much.
Adam, I'm going to let you introduce our main event here, our headliner.
I mean, this is what everyone has just been clamoring over for the last few weeks. We have Randy Lanoue, who is the director of Twinsburg. Randy, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Fantastic. You just started your season last week, which is just insane to me. You guys won. You won Best Vocals and Best Choreography, too. Your fall show was impeccable. Tell me about the first competition, your group of kids. Just tell me about that whole thing.
I mean, it's always a great way to start a season at Ada. We've done it the past 4 years. We've won it the past 3 years. This was the first year that we took vocals with it. I'm really proud of the kids. It's something we've really been focusing on, the vocals side of things. And we did an entirely different fall show from what our competition will be this year. Different choreography, songs, costumes, everything. You won't see anything from the video that's on YouTube when we roll out our competition show in January.
How long did they work on that fall show?
We started it, I want to say, the second or third week of August. So we had to get it out there pretty fast, and we've been kind of working on the competition show also.
Okay, because I just watched the show and I was just like, this is insanity. It is cleaner than I've ever seen any fall show in my life. You must be beating these children, right? Is there any sort of corporal punishment or what?
My lawyer said not to discuss that, Adam.
Oh,
Really.
that's probably for the best.
Do they still have tables out in the front of the house, in front of the gym at Ada?
Oh yeah, it's like, I don't want to call it a garage sale, but it's almost like a bazaar of crafts and rhinestone jewelry and all sorts of, like, if you want it, you can get it there. And there was even like a table for like med school clinic or something like that. It was like, hey, I'm a show choir, I don't want to go to med school. You go to Ada and you learn about it.
Sign up for the music feast and, go home a scholar. Who knew?
Absolutely.
That's
but they
crazy.
were right in between the men's and women's bathroom, which are very confusing at Ada, and you need to be careful not to walk into the wrong one. Not that I've done that.
Right. Just saying, though. Yeah.
Just saying. Just be careful.
I want to talk to you. Where did you grow up? Because you're not from Twinsburg, right?
No, I'm not from Ohio. I grew up in Manteno, Illinois. Lived there until I went off to college. I still have brothers and sisters in Manteno. My brother was in Manteno, who got second at Southmont yesterday. And I went to Millikan University, graduated from there, came out to Ohio, and eventually landed at Twinsburg after a year out here.
What was your first job out in Ohio?
It was the assistant director at Euclid High School.
Okay, they have a show choir, yeah?
They do, yeah. Shauna Ross is the director there. We had a lot of fun that year, and during that year I met Nancy Slife, who's now Nancy Benko, who was the director at Twinsburg for, I think, close to 20 years. And I jumped on board at Twinsburg and kind of was an under director with her for 2 years before she handed it over to me. So it's been great at Twinsburg.
How
That's
long
awesome.
have you been the director now at Twinsburg then?
One more time?
How long have you been the director at Twinsburg? How many years?
Oh, this is my, let me think through shows. This is my 6th show without Nancy and Mitch.
Wow, okay, awesome.
And have you been doing all of the choreography this entire time since you've been there? All 6 years?
I had your brother do one song my first year there. I had Mitch Benko, who was the former director and choreographer at Twinsburg. He did a song, I think, my 3rd year there. And then this year I have Jen Unjin and your brother. They tag teamed one of the medleys in the show. So it's really exciting to bring somebody else in for the kids.
What was that like choreographing with those two, working with those two?
I tried to walk it away as much as possible. No, it was good. I have control issues, but it was one of those, I'll walk away, I'll let them do their thing, and then I'll come in because I hate nothing more than somebody staring at me asking questions as I'm doing it. I'm just like, I'll walk away. So I went and worked on costumes while they were doing choreography.
Do you design the costumes there?
I design them all. I do a lot of the work on them after the construction is complete. But Diana Baeza does most of them. She does work for Burroughs also.
Cool. Tell us about how you put show design together, because you've always got great themed shows.
It's weird. Scott Hamler, the music director of Great Expectations, and I, he's been with us, I mean, ever since I started by myself after Nancy. But, it's one of those things where we just kind of throw things on and off. But I feel like our best shows come together in about 10 minutes, where it's like, hey, wouldn't this be great? And blah, 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 boom, there's a show. If we have to sit there and force it, I just have found that's when the audience just doesn't resonate. Where it's like, if we can do a show in 10 minutes and it has a little bit of this and that, I mean, those are our best shows.
Tell us this. Go ahead, Adam.
Yeah, I was just going to probably ask the same question. How did you come up with the Christmas show?
That was the question.
It was one of those things we had always joked about, and everybody said don't do it, so we did. I mean, it was really like, let's be rebels and do Christmas, because nobody said do Christmas. And then it turned into a thing where it was actually a show, and then it's like, Well, I guess we do it because who else is going to? I mean, really, it turns into sometimes when we look at it, if we think somebody else would do that show, we won't do it because we need to be. We can get away with some things because of our point of view that I don't think everyone can. And I'm not saying other people aren't creative or intelligent or witty. It's just Scott and I. It's just something that we're really good at. Try and get a little bit of wit and glamour into everything we do.
Wit and glamour. I mean, that sounds perfect to me. So for people who aren't show choir nerds like myself, out of the 6 years that you've directed, what is your favorite show that you've done? And kind of give a synopsis of whatever show it is for the people.
Okay, for the entertainment value, it's Monopoly. Monopoly was just really great. It was fun. It was over the top. It was witty. But I think for my favorite show as a musician or an artist, it was The Green Show. I mean, it was really just deep, and not everyone got it. I mean, really, we had some judges sitting there scratching their heads, and others who like threw their firstborn at it. So we would walk away from a competition. 2 judges would have us in first, 2 would have us in like 4th or 5th, and they just had totally different opinions of it.
I saw that show at Fame Chicago. There, yeah. And I was one of the audience members throwing my firstborn child at it. It was awesome. It was great.
Thank you.
What do you think? That's a tricky line to walk. Like when you are going to be kind of pushing the envelope or pushing your own limits, like to your own creativity, and knowing that this could either be something that everyone gets and loves or the exact opposite of that. Like, how do you walk that line?
I know it's weird because when Jen and I started talking at DeKalb's competition last year about her coming in to choreograph a song for us, I mean, we knew it was either going to be a really big success or a really big disaster. Like, there was nothing in between, and it's going to be fantastic. Wait for it. It's really fantastic. But I think it's one of those things where you need to start, you got to be true to yourself, and then edit as you go. You can't let people sit there and edit it for you. You've got to make that decision yourself based on you and your people. And sometimes kids can do something you want, and sometimes they can't. And there's no reason to force, a square peg in a round hole. You've just got to decide what really works and edit and make it work.
Awesome.
You do clinic work? Do you go to other schools and work with other schools or judge or anything like that?
This is the first year I've ever actually choreographed for another group. I choreographed for Alliance High School here in Ohio. A smaller group, but they made finals at our competition last year, and they were really great kids, so I talked with the director, and I went and worked with them. It's something I've been looking at doing. It's just not anything I've really had time to do up until this point, and so I've never judged. I don't know how many friends I would make, but I would love to sometimes. It's just one of those things where we compete a lot, and with the middle school group, and now I have a girls group, it's been challenging up to this point, but it's now getting to the point where I think I could balance that. But I haven't judged. I mean, I don't think I'd make friends.
Did you say alliance or defiance?
Alliance.
Alliance. Okay.
Yes.
I thought you may have said defiance, which kind of put me in a little scandal mood.
No, there's no scandal here. I try to avoid it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I got a question on Twitter.
Is it my mom?
I don't think your mom's named Terrell, but maybe.
No, that's not my mom.
Hey, I didn't want to make assumptions. Who inspires your costume ideas?
Well, growing up, my mother did a lot of work in bridal alterations and designing and making. So I grew up around that, and then seeing show choir, it was like that plus color, because in bridal everything's white. It's one of those things where it's just for me, it's how do you take it someplace people haven't seen before and do it in a way that's still done with quality. I think there's some people who try to go there, but it just doesn't ever come together through a lack of follow-through or a lack of funds or whatnot, where if you're going to do it, you've got to do it in a way that's impeccable.
Excellent answer.
What is your most vibrant show choir memory from high school? Your high school show choir experience when you were in it?
Probably since I was in high school in the early 2000s when leather and vinyl was big in costumes, the smell of those costumes, they were disgusting. I cannot believe America ever put children in vinyl and leather for show choir. I mean, seriously, it's disgusting. If you've never worn leather or vinyl in show choir, don't. Refuse. Tell them to buy you something else.
I heard it was making a comeback, so I put my kids in it this year. I guess I missed the boat on that one.
Have the Lysol ready.
I told you that I'd ask you this. What is your favorite show choir show of all time from anyone that you've seen?
There's really two, Adam. I have to go here. Clinton 96, the original Cold Show. Oh my God, like, I'm still not over it. My dad's not over it. My dad is, a big burly French man with a beard who goes by the name Butch, and almost 20 years later, he's still not over it. And then Sullivan 2001, which really, to me, brought glamour into show choir and really has shaped how I do things. And now that I know David Mullenkamp well, it's like weird to be like, hey, you kind of taught me about glamour, but really, that's...
What year was that? Was that like Crocodile Rock?
I want to be a producer, wasn't it?
It was Rockette year and then Disco Odyssey at the end.
Oh,
it was fantastic. If you haven't seen it, I don't know where to get the video. I don't even know if it's online, but I have like 5 VHS tapes of it. I think I bought every VHS tape from every competition they went to. I'm a nerd. I'm sorry.
Aren't we all?
Well, we're here.
That's why we're here.
That's why we're here on a Sunday night. Where is Twinsburg competing this year? Can you reveal?
I can tell you all but 1 week because we don't have that one hammered down. So if you're a director who would like us at your competition, we prefer really good cookies at our competitions. Lukewarm pizza is good. We're not so keen on pulled pork sandwiches. We're just saying. And Pepsi. I need Pepsi, not Coke. So check your priorities here, people.
And tanning beds, right?
I mean, really. January 31st, we will be at Bishop Dwenger in Indiana. February 7th is the week we need someplace. So, I mean, really, blow up my Twitter account. Get us at your competition. February 14th, we will be at DeKalb, your alma mater. And with the Mood Swingers, my all-girls group, and the RBC Singers, my middle school group.
Wait. Your girls' group's name is what?
The Mood Swingers. Isn't that fantastic?
Wow. And what was the inspiration for that?
You are crazy, man.
Charming ladies. They voted it in. I did.
They voted it in.
No, it's really fun. They're a really fun group. They're the nicest girls, and they're doing really, really well. They've got a lot of sequin and big hair. And then March 7th, we will be at Solon High School. March 14th, we'll be at Wheaton Warrenville South. And then March 21st, we'll be at Fairfield.
Awesome.
Wow. So I think the world is kind of just starting to get a little buzz about it, but I asked you if we could talk about it, and you said we could, so let's talk about it. Let's put it out there. Can you tell me
it's not a fake one.
To Sesame Street?
Yes, we are. It's on my page. Everyone knows. My mom knew.
Oh, she did?
Oh, yeah. My mom told everyone.
I thought it was still kind of a secret, but I saw it on showchoir.com, and I'm like, well, someone spilled the beans, but I guess you told everyone. Okay.
I mean, it's one of those things, why hide it? I mean, really, if somebody wants to do a Sesame Street show along with us, go for it, kids. I mean,
It's true. How did you come up with that idea? What inspired that?
I maybe had an obsession as a child, and maybe I didn't have 1 but 2 bedrooms decorated for Sesame Street. Don't laugh. It's kind of a thing. And I mean, really, there's fur, there's feathers. What's better than that?
Who's your favorite Sesame Street character? I've got to know this.
I think there's only one, and that's Big Bird, let's be honest. When you put that many feathers on one costume, it's going to be good.
I love that you're thinking of this in show choir already. I just love that. That's awesome. Can you give us any hint towards songs?
The Cookie Monster medley is psychotic and sick and really fun. They will make it through the alphabet. They will make it through the alphabet, I promise you, and it will be in the correct order. Sherman is like, wow, I mean, really, we've all met children in show choir. And I mean, there are moments that are witty. There's moments that are kind of expected, but it's just really fun to. It's just fun. And I think sometimes show choir is missing that anymore. You know, there's a famine of pretty in show choir some days. There's a lack of fun, and we just want to bring that back.
So it's not going to be like some out-of-the-box, like Mr. Hooper's ghost comes to Sesame Street and, you know, that kind of scenario. It's just going to be fun.
There's a lot of rhinestone. There's no Mr. Hooper's ghost, no.
Okay.
Snuffleupagus does not die. Oscar the Grouch doesn't go on a shooting rampage. No, we are keeping it here.
It's true. It's so appropriate that we are talking to you about this because it's. I found this out today. It's the 45th anniversary of Sesame Street this week.
That was last Monday, and it was the first night of our rehearsals on the Sesame Street show. It was crazy. I didn't know until the day of.
Wow.
Yeah.
And are your kids excited about it, or are they like, what are our directors doing to us?
My kids are so business, it's not even funny. I'm like the parent they try to disown because I'm so different. They're just like, ignore him. So really, like Scott's business, their business, and I'm the crazy guy who's like, don't you think we should glue more feathers to that dress? So, I mean, it's a weird world. I'm the crazy, parent they don't always claim.
I've got a question from Twitter.
Oh, who is it? My mom?
It is. I don't think your mom's name is Alex.
No.
But, I don't want to assume. I know that you've helped with some other groups with costuming this year. Is that something you'll pursue further?
It is something I've done. I don't think I'm at liberty to discuss who because I didn't ask them if I could. I love doing it. It's great. I was able to do some of it in my free time this summer, and it's going well. We'll wait to see them on stage and see if it goes well, but it was fun working with other directors because they don't have my same point of view, and I wouldn't want them to have the same point of view. I always started out with, I'm not going to dress your girls like the GE girls. I realize it's two different breeds of animals some days. And, I just want everyone to be in something that they're comfortable in, but kind of pushes them in a new direction or an exciting new realm of costuming. So it's been fun. It's been really cool. And some of them just premiered this last weekend, and people, I guess, were going crazy over. I just talked to that director today.
Cool. I have a question.
Crazy, not in a bad way.
Right. No. Yeah, we got it. I have a question for you.
Yes.
What made you want to be a choir director?
All right. Long story. I thought about it in the shower while getting ready for this. There's a bad visual for you. The first show choir competition I went to was the 1993 Sullivan Singers Invitational. And it was kind of like right there. I'm sitting there, and it was for finals. We were down on the floor in chairs that they had set up, and they would bring the judges from the platform down to the chairs. And later I found out I was sitting behind like Vertus Linkert and all these amazing people who now I know, but they still stick out in my mind from that night. And it was kind of right there. I'm like, this is what I should do. There's a lot of, this is great. And so, yeah, I was like in third grade, not to age myself. I'm timeless, but it really just, it was Sullivan Singers 1993 Invitational.
And what advice would you have? There's a lot of like high schoolers watching. So what advice would you have to anybody that's interested in music that might want to be a choir director, that might want to be a show choir director? What advice do you have for them going forward?
You get better with age. It's an art. Don't just look at it as a score sheet and, a regurgitation of what someone else has done. Like, really try to make a stamp on what we do, because to me, more than anything, this is an art form. I want it to survive another generation. I feel like I'm kind of the second generation. I feel like some of the pioneers in this are starting to retire, and they're amazing people that we can't replace. And so for me, it's how do we continue the art form, continue to develop the art form, and honor the art form. I look at every show I do as kind of a love letter to show choir, because it's everything I have loved. And I want a younger generation to feel that, but not feel pressured by a score sheet necessarily, because you can always take your vision, and if it's done impeccably well, it's going to be fine on the score sheet.
That's an awesome thought. And if you think about it, you're right. We are the second generation.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm on the other end of the second generation. You guys are like 12, but you know, I'm someplace between 30 and death. But yeah, I mean, really, you know, I look at the greats that I grew up with. If they had baseball cards, I would have them all. But you know, they're slowly retiring, and they're still around judging and clinicianing, and I think that's awesome, and I hope they're around for a long time. But you know, the Paul Goldsbigs, the Nancy Slifes, the Linda McEachrons, the Gail McGinnises, you know, they're retiring, and I think it's good for a new generation come in, but I think we still have to honor what they established here and the levels of perfection and impeccability that have been expected in this medium and continue to. I mean, I just listed like 4 or 5, but there's a list of thousands. You know, Ron Helms, Kevin Butler, I mean, greats that are still working. I'm not saying these people are dead. They're awesome. But I'm saying
they're alive people.
have really set up for what we do now.
Who was your high school choreographer? I don't know this.
I think Jenny Donahue Smith, I think she judged at the Calb last year.
Okay.
Which was weird because I didn't know she was judging, and then she like figured out who I was like midway through the day. And it was really cool to see her after finals were done and say hi. So I hadn't seen her since high school.
Here's a question from Danny from Twitter. How was your experience at Millikan, and how did it influence you as a show choir director?
Oh, this is good. Okay, so I was a bassoon major at Millikan. Little known fact. Another small known fact. My freshman year of high school at Manteno High School, I played bassoon. And sitting to my right was John Burles of Wheaton Warrenville South, now of Carmel, playing bassoon next to me. So we came from the same place. We're very different people, but we came from the same place.
You want to be good at show choir? You get on the bassoon, kids. That's the lesson tonight, bassoon.
It is. Play bassoon. All the cool kids are. So I went to Millikan. I was an instrumental major, but while I was there, I got in with internship hours and eventually working for the booster organization at Johns Hill Magnet School, which fed into Eisenhower High School and some into Mount Zion High School. Kathleen Bell was the director there. Amazing woman. I just amazing, and taught me how to really push kids and hold them accountable and really expect, but in a way that they understand you mean business, but it's not mean. It's not cruel. And so, I mean, really, she helped shape me into what I do now. And I just say to all the college kids, it's like, get in a program. Find a way to spend time there. Show up. Don't just say, hey, I'm going to show up, and then an hour before you're supposed to be there, call off. It's like, show up. Give up some of the party time. Go out there. Be in the trenches. Learn from these people. Because even if it's a terrible group, which Johns Hill was not, they were amazing, but even if it's a terrible group, you're going to learn how not to do things. And that's almost more important than seeing a master at work, because you just get so awestruck by it that you miss what they're actually doing. So I say get out there, do something. And if you find a group that could use your help and you can talk with the director and maybe get in front of them and work with them, that's how you're going to start in this. And you know, you're not going to walk in and take over a top 5 group in the country. You've got to work. You've got to get in the trenches. You've got to go out there and gig. So, you know, that's really what I encourage kids to do. And that's what I did at Millikan. I was out there. Instead of going out with my friends, I was on a school bus going to a middle school competition on Friday nights and teasing some hair and, you know, it was standing at a soundboard.
That's really great advice, though, because there are so many nuances and like small details like that you just have to know. There's little things all over the place that you have to know about this competition, show choir, art form that will help you so much. And if you're not there, how are you going to figure that out?
And you can't just jump into it. Just because you were in a high school group, it doesn't give you everything you need. You've got to go out there. You've got to work with somebody. I am so blessed to have not been handed a big program fresh out of college. I would have failed miserably and been depressed my whole life. I'm glad I worked with other people. I'm glad I was out cleaning choreography. I love cleaning choreography. My kids don't love when I clean it, but I love doing it. And it's just one of those things where you've got to be out there you've got to be out there doing and learning. And if you have a strength, use it, and use that strength to be around people to learn other strengths.
That's such good advice. That's awesome. If Ellie or Sherman, if you guys don't have any questions, I'm gonna move on. If you guys do have questions,
Looks like Sherman might.
Nah, I'm good. I'm thoroughly entertained listening to the
Sherman,
history.
is that a French flag in the background of your apartment?
It's the Netherlands. Long story.
All right,
I have flags all over my apartment.
I was gonna hope it was French and celebrating my people, but that's all right too. It's fine.
Lanoue, how many Best Dressed Director awards do you personally have?
I have never counted.
You go.
I tried to.
Go to a competition and they offer that. I feel like you go there on purpose.
No. And here's the thing. Yes, I do wear some outrageous things. I get it. I know I'm not for, like, you know, mom and pa down on the farm. But, you know, it's just be who you are. You know, that's the thing. I love fashion. Sometimes fashion loves me. Sometimes it turns into a situation. But, I mean, you've got to just wear it. You've just got to wear it. And one of the funniest times I didn't win was at Marysville a few years ago. They handed out Best Dressed Director, and apparently I wasn't wearing a shirt with my suit coat. It was really far buttoned up. And I didn't win Best Dressed Director because I wasn't wearing a shirt. So, oh well.
Wow.
My mom's proud.
And she's watching too, so that's great.
I don't know. Who knows if she could actually figure this out?
hopefully. I mean, I couldn't figure it out for the first 7 minutes, so hopefully she did. All right, it's 8:57, and we're trying to keep it around an hour. So, Ellie, if you don't have anything, or if you guys want to jump in with a question, we can get in some last-minute questions here after this. I'm going to do a lightning round with you, Mr. Lanoue.
Oh, dear.
And I'm just going to ask you as many questions as I can in 30 seconds, and we'll see how many we can get through.
All right.
And just the first thing, we'll go as fast as we can, all right? All right, what's your favorite holiday?
4th of July.
Turkey or ham?
Ham, I'm allergic to turkey.
Bizarre. Burger King or McDonald's?
Oh, McDonald's.
Wendy's or Arby's?
Arby's.
Name a woman.
Ellie Jordan.
Name a color.
Magenta.
Give a name to the school bus that you rode to Ada.
Growler.
If you could go back in time, what year would you go to?
1929.
Favorite TV show?
Anderson Cooper 360.
Last musical you saw?
Pippin?
Besides Twinsburg, who has the best show choir hair?
Clinton.
January 1978 was Cleveland's record for the most snowfall in 1 month. How much snow did they get?
I just live here.
What's your favorite Christmas movie?
White Christmas.
What's your least favorite color?
Brown.
And can we do a Twinsburg ripple on the show?
Yes. But do I line up on the bottom like what it shows? Is it
So
Adam,
it's
then
Adam,
Sherman, Ellie,
Sherman,
then you, then me?
Ellie. To me, it's Adam, Sherman, Ellie, you, me.
Yes. Oh,
So,
okay. Just
yeah.
us.
Yeah, so I'm going to stand
I
up
usually
in case...
one kid in the back going the wrong direction anyway. So
Okay.
That's me.
Okay. All right, so what's the ripple? What are we going to ripple here?
I think you need to start over here, which is the different direction that I'm going, which is fine. And then you have to end up over here. Only don't make that hand movement. Start here and go to, I don't know, I'm not good at this on the spot. Here and then, I tell my kids to look away right now while I'm trying to do car. Yeah, stay here. That'll be good. So boom, boom. It's 2 beats, kids.
Okay. I'm 5, Adam, you're 1, Sherman, you're 2, Ellie, you're 3, you're 4, Randy, and I'm 5. Ready?
Wait, what are the hands?
Just go with it.
Okay.
5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I think this
For
was
little kids, this is not as easy as at home.
Face is melted. Face
Yeah.
Listen, I feel put on the spot. I feel like I needed that choreography like days in advance.
Give me time, I'll clean this. I will get this spotless.
Maybe
Yeah.
if we all went to Ellie's camp, we could all learn it very well.
Yeah.
First time. All right, I want to quickly, and Adam, you can jump in with me, maybe go every other, but I want to read some of these lineups. We found some of the bigger competitions that are coming up this year and kind of dug up the lineups. There's some real great ones this year. We're just getting started here in November. I think this is Fame Orlando #1, which will feature Clinton, Ankeny Centennial, Marysville, Hart, Omaha West Side, and Brea. That is crazy. That's a great lineup.
Yeah.
You wanna
Fairfield
go?
has Albertville, Beaver Creek, Bishop Dwenger, Clover Hill, Coleraine, ETC, Loveland, Pike, Tays Valley, and Twinsburg, which is also intense. 7 states there.
Nashville Nationals is pretty good. Buffalo Grove, Center Grove, Clover Hill, Daniel Hand, El Paso, Findlay, Glenwood, Hastings, Homewood, Mount Zion. It says North. Does that just mean North High School?
I think it's St. Paul North, possibly.
Oh, okay. Petal, Ravenswood, Sullivan, and Westwood. That's pretty awesome too.
And I know the Wheaton groups are starting to trickle out saying they're going to Wheaton. We don't have that here, but I know every single year that competition is just insanity as well.
And just as crazy is Chicagoland Showcase the weekend before. So March 1st is going to be one of those weekends where I'm hiding in the Jewel Osco parking lot. And there's a really big one down south. This is kind of like the Clintonless Southern Championship at Enterprise, like with Albertville, Auburn, Opelika, Tiss County, Oak Grove, and Spain Park. It's Oak Mountain. That's a big one too down south. I tried to get some other ones, and we'll go over those even more on our next episode, which will be January 11th. So following Onalaska and Viterbo and Centennial, right? Those are all the 10th.
Alex, off the top of your head, can you name all the places that you're going this upcoming competition season?
Why, of course I can. Let's see. Muscatine, Marysville. Oh, shoot. What's the one up north?
Kennedy.
Bloomington, Kennedy, Chesterton, Ben Davis, Broadhead, Chicagoland, Mundelein/Wheaton, and Burroughs. I think those are 9 this year. Not so bad.
You get to use my system this year at Burroughs.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
And currently I'm at Muscatine, Pleasant Hill, Bloomington, Kennedy, Mount Pleasant, Chesterton, Davenport West and Central, Mason City, Cedar Rapids, Jefferson, Wheaton, possibly Mundelein as well, John Burroughs, and possibly, like a fame event thrown in. Fun.
Cool. Sherman, you've already rattled yours off, right?
Unless I get some more invitations tonight.
After tonight, email Sherman, and he'll set you up with some scoring.
It is free. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I think that wraps it up. I don't see any more questions on Twitter, but we did get a lot, and we thank you guys on Twitter for asking questions and participating. So you can follow us, and I want everybody to kind of give your Twitter handle here or Facebook or whatever social media you want to kind of put out there.
Hey, we almost forgot this, and there's more info coming about it, but we are excited to announce that we have 2 full SCA, Show Choir Camps of America scholarships to give away this year. It's kind of a fun little story. It came about at the camps itself. We myself, Jennifer Goldsvig, and Kurt Goldsvig held 2 5K runs, one at the Milliken Camp and one at Tiffin Camp, and we raised money, and we had 2 full scholarships to give away. We're going to give more information away in January, but tell your friends to keep watching. Yeah, it's going to be great. We're really excited that we can provide something like that to such a cool experience.
Great.
Yeah.
So we'll have more info January 11th on how you can get that scholarship and what you can do to apply for it. And yeah, that's a huge opportunity. I kind of can't believe that we can do that on the show. That's great. So if you have any suggestions for us, we're going to be changing a lot. Our next show is obviously a good 6 weeks from now. So if you have suggestions for the show, guest suggestions, we'd love guest suggestions. We don't know everyone in the show choir world, even though we pretend to. Yeah, you have a suggestion?
I want Verda.
Verda. If Ellie can go to Lafayette and figure out the technology part, we'll have Verda.
I need some Verda in my life.
Okay, Verda. Like, if you guys have guest suggestions, email us showchoirlive@gmail.com. And if you have it, if you could have a way for us to get a hold of them too, because there were some people that were suggested last year, and I was like, that'd be great. No, I can't figure out how to talk to them. So if you have that too, that would help. Also, I mean, we can do that over Twitter as well, @ShowChoirLive, Facebook, Show Choir Live. Everything is Show Choir Live. Show Choir Live is life. No. But yeah, I think that's gonna wrap it for this show. So
thanks for joining us, guys. We're so excited all of you could come.
Oh,
Yeah.
great.
Us.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, and until January 11th, I hope you guys have a good first competition on the 10th. Have a good Christmas. Have a good New Year's. Have a good Hanukkah. Have a good Kwanzaa. And then we'll see you out after the first weekend of 2015. All right. So I always try to do this. Let's see. There's a lot of people on the show tonight.
You can do
So
it.
from Twinsburg, Ohio, Naperville, Illinois, Bloomington, Indiana, Iowa City, Iowa, and Auburn, Indiana. Thanks, guys. We'll see you on the 11th. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Wow.